Good morning students, I welcome you all for the online class of business studies. Today we will be going to continue with the import procedure topic in the BST topic. As today we are saying to explain again as it was completed already in the December month. So again I am revising about the import procedure. Let us start the import procedure. Steps involved in import procedures are as follows. Very first, trade inquiry. The import procedure begins when the importer conducts inquiry and collects information about the countries and the exporter who can supply the required goods. Importer can get the inquiry from the trade directories and trade association also after identifying the suitable exporter who can supply the goods. The importer sends the trade inquiry form to get in details the information regarding the price, quantity, quality, etc., which the exporter can supply. The exporter replies the trade inquiry by filling the pro forma invoice. So trade inquiry is nothing, student. The import procedure, which begins with the when the importer conducts inquiry and collects the information about the countries and the exporter who can supply the required goods. Next is the procurement of import license. If we will go with the trade inquiry, it is already completed. Stated the trade inquiry is that process which is started in the beginning of export procedure also, when the importer makes an inquiry to the different exporter about the goods available with them. So that is itself is known as trade inquiry. Procurement of import license. There are certain goods which can be imported freely but for some there is a necessity to obtain import license. For this, the importer can get information from export-import policy. If goods are under the licensing category, then the importer must apply for and get registered with Directorate General Foreign Trade (DGFT) or Regional Import-Export Licensing Authority and obtain IEC number. Obtaining foreign exchange. In India, all foreign exchange transactions are regulated by Exchange Control Department of Reserve Bank of India. We all know. Every importer must obtain the satellites of foreign exchange for this. Okay. So, the importer has to give an application to a bank authorized by RBI to issue foreign exchange. Along with the application, the importer must submit the copy of import license also. After verifying all the details, the bank sanctions the necessary foreign exchange for import transactions. So, this is obtaining foreign exchange, students. In India, what happens? All foreign exchange transactions are regulated. We all know all the foreign currencies are exchanged and converted in the Reserve Bank of India. Every importer must obtain the sanction of foreign exchange. For this, the importer has to give an application to a bank which is authorized by Reserve Bank of India to issue foreign exchange. Along with the application, what they have to do? The importer must submit the copy of import license also. After verifying all the details, the bank sanctions the necessary foreign exchange for import transactions. Next is placing order or indent. After obtaining the license and sanction of foreign exchange, the importer places an import order or indent to supply the specific products. The import order contains information regarding the price, quantity, quality, weight, size, grade, packaging, shipment, etc. of the goods. Next, obtaining letter of credit. Letter of credit is issued by importer's bank in favor of the exporter. In this, the bank undertakes guarantee for making payment on behalf of the importer. The importer approaches his bank and instructs the bank to issue a letter of credit in favor of the exporter. The importer also instructs the bank about the documents to be collected from the exporter before making payments. Before issuing the letter of credit, the issuing bank takes the advice of other banks to know about the financial soundness of the importer, and if the issuing bank gets a positive response from other bank, then only it issues a letter of credit on behalf of the importer. So this is letter of credit, students. Obtaining letter of credit is very important because before issuing the letter of credit, the issuing bank takes the advice of other banks to know about the financial soundness of the importer. We have already learned this step also in the export procedure, where it is very important that importer must send a letter of credit in which it will be showing the credit worthiness of the importer, whether he can make the payment of the goods or not, and it is made by the importer's bank in favor of the exporter's bank. That same thing is there. So this is the step where the importer do this work. Fifth step, arranging for finance. What do you mean by arranging for finance, students? The importer should make in advance the arrangement for payments. Advance arrangement is done to avoid high penalties to be paid on imported goods lying uncleared at the port. So this is the arranging for finance student. The importer, what they did, they should make in advance arrangement for payments. Advance arrangement is done to avoid what high penalties to be paid on imported goods lying uncleared at the ports. Receipt of a shipment advice. After loading the goods on the vessel, the exporter dispatches the shipment advice to the importer. This advice contains information regarding shipment such as invoice number, bill of lading or airways bills number, date and time, name of vessels through which the goods are coming, etc. So this is a receipt of shipment advice, students. After loading the goods, what is done? On the vessel, the exporter, what it does, dispatches the shipment advice to the importers. This advice, what it does, it contains information regarding shipments such as invoice number, bill of ladings, what we have. If it is importer is asking the demand of the goods through a railroad, then definitely the railway receipts he will be advising. Retirement of import documents. Retirement of import documents, has we already learned, exporter with the captain of the ship dispatches some of the goods. So that goods, the documents has to be received by the importer. So after shipment of goods, the exporter submits the various imported documents to his banker. Generally, these documents are letter of credit, bill of lading, packaging and certificate of origin, marine insurance, bill of exchange, etc. Bill of exchange can be of two types, that is bill of exchange sight and draft, or bill of exchange for acceptance. Okay. Next is arrival of goods, the ninth step. Ninth and the last second of the import process. Goods are shipped by the exporter as per the specifications of the importer. When goods reach the importer's country, then the captain of the ship informs the dock officer and instructs him to receive the goods and record the details about the goods on the document called Import General Manifest. This document gives details about the imported goods. After the arrival of the good, the dock superintendent or the dock authorities inform the importer about the same. The importer prepares a document called Bill of Entry, which contains details about imported goods, and submit this document to the custom officer to get custom clearance. So this is arrival of goods arrangement done by the importer, which is done by the ninth step. Again, I will be repeating. Here in the main importance to make by the, when he get all the important document from the shipping company, then it is the duty of the importer to prepare a document called Bill of Entry, which complete details about the imported goods, and submits this document to the custom officer. So this is known as arrival of goods. Okay. So when goods reach the importer's country, what it happens? Then the captain of the ship informed to whom? Dock officer, and instruct him to receive the goods and record the details about the goods on a document which is known as Import General Manifest. So point by point you will have to learn these important words also, like for example, what do you mean by Import General Manifest? So you start writing that goods are shipped by the exporter as per the specifications of the importer. When these goods reach the importer's country, then the captain of the ship inform the dock officer and instruct him to receive the goods and record the details about the goods on the document called Import General Manifest. Custom clearance. The custom officer examines the bill of entry carefully and assesses the custom duty to be paid by the importer, and after assessing the duty amount, the bill of entry is given to the appraiser officer, who does the inspection of goods and verifies the details given in bill of entry. If the appraiser officer is satisfied with the information given in the bill of entry, then he returns the bill of entry to the importer for making payments of custom duty. After this, the importer presents the bill of entry to the dock superintendent for physical examination of the goods. After the examination by the dock superintendent, the bill of entry is presented to the port manager, who accepts payments of custom duty and issues the release order. On presentation of release order, the importer can direct the delivery of the goods. In case the importer fails to make payment, duty, then goods are transferred to a bonded warehouse. The importer can take the delivery from bonded warehouse only after paying the required duty. Once again, custom clearance students, for today's class this import procedure only, because it is lengthy process, so I am only taking one of the topic, import procedure. Next class we will be moving with the import export documents, important documents in the process of import, important documents in the process of export. Once again, in the last of the class, custom clearance. The custom officer examines the bill of entry carefully and assess the custom duty to be paid by the importer, and after the assessing the duty amount, the bill of entry is given to the appraiser officer. Okay, so the key elements which we have to see: that custom officer examines the bill of entry and assess the custom officer to be paid custom duty paid by the importer, and after assessing the duty amount, the bill of entry is given to the appraiser officer, who does the inspection of goods and verifies the details given in bill of entry. So this is a very important step about the assessing of the duty amount as well as inspection of the goods, which is done by the appraiser officer. If the appraiser officer is satisfied with your information, then the bill of entry he returns to the importer for making payment of custom duties. After this, the importer presents the bill of entry to the dock superintendent for physical examination of the goods. After the examination by dock superintendent, the bill of entry is presented to the port manager, who accepts the payment. So likewise, students, make the notes so that you can learn carefully the particular points. On presentation of release order, the importer can take the delivery of goods. In case the importer fails to pay import duty, then goods are transferred to a bonded warehouse. The importer can take the delivery from bonded warehouse only after payment, that is acceptance. Bill of entry against acceptance. In that case, it is kept. The goods are kept in the bonded warehouse, where the importer can get only the goods when he will be making all the payments in the due date. So this was a particular point, import procedure. I hope you have understood each and every step of import procedure. The next class we will be going to learn. Before that import procedure, let us have a recall of all the points what we have learned in the import procedure. Very first, trade inquiry. Second, procurement of import license. Third step, obtaining foreign exchange, so that after the when the goods will be delivered, will be ready cash to make payment in foreign currency. Placing order or indent. Obtaining letter of credit, arranging for finance, receipt of shipment advice, retirement of import documents, arrival of the goods, and custom clearance. So these are the various import procedure, which is very important. One by one we have learned completely, and some of the points are matching to the export procedure, because in there also importer had participated, like placing of order, trade inquiries, letter of credit. So that are the important documents, student, which is already learned twice, has export procedure as well as import procedures, because both the people's participation is needed in these steps. So for today's class, this much only. In the next class, we will be going to learn import-export documents, in which we will be going to learn principal export documents, like for example, commercial invoice. The document which contains the details of goods supplied by the exporter. We already learned the pro forma invoice or the commercial invoice, which is a receipt over the packaging of the goods, so that the particular receiver can know about the details which is inside about the goods. The common contents of these documents are names of the buyer and seller, quantity and price of product, date of sailing, marks made on packing, etc. This document is necessary for taking clearance from the excise commissioner, custom authority, export inspection agency, etc. Next we goes to the packing list. This list contains the date of packing, order number, corresponding invoice number, bill of lading number, details of shipping, date of sailing, details of goods in each pack, etc. And the next class we will be definitely going to learn bill of lading, which is very important topic and needs time requirement to understand carefully. So for today's class, this much only. Thank you and have a nice day.